She may be the face I can't forget, a trace of pleasure or regret.
Okay, so I decided to watch Black Widow because I'm currently watching Hawkeye and I'm very obsessed with it, and I realised I needed to catch up on some other Marvel productions to really understand the series a bit better. I'm really into Hawkeye, and you know how intertwined the Marvel Cinematic Universe is. One thing just leads to another. And Rachel Weisz is also in this film, so sold. To be honest with you guys, I'm not a huge fan of Black Widow as a character. I just find her a little bit dry compared to a lot of the other Marvel superheroes. I had also heard quite mixed opinions about this film, so I really went into it with quite lowered expectations, but actually I was pleasantly surprised. So Black Widow is about Natasha Romanoff, also known as Black Widow, who reunites with her sister Yelena and their parents as they work to take down the Red Room, a secret Soviet-Russian training program that takes young women and turns them into assassins through psychological conditioning and mind control. The film takes place before Avengers Infinity War, but the film's post-credits scene takes place afterwards, with Yelena mourning her sister after her death in Avengers Endgame. So as I said, I was pleasantly surprised with this film, and it has such an incredible cast, which really makes all the difference. In my opinion, the highlight of this film was Florence Pugh as Yelena. She just has such a great sense of humour and a lot of sass, which plays off really well against Natasha, who is a little bit more reserved and dry. To be honest, I think the highlight of this film is the dynamic between Natasha and Yelena, and I could watch hours of these two going on adventures together. Yelena is a huge part of why this film is so enjoyable. It's also refreshing to have a Marvel cinematic production which centres around female characters and their relationships to one another. I know Marvel have made quite a few films with female characters, but I can't think of a prominent one that specifically centres on women or on their relationships to one another as opposed to their relationships with men. I mean, maybe with the exception of Captain Marvel, but it's still refreshing that Black Widow went in this direction. Alongside this, the film has a female director, which I was very impressed with, because it's one thing to make a fictional film that carries a message of empowering women, but it's another thing to actually support women in positions of power in real life. Yelena also gives off very strong villanelle vibes, which is, it's familiar territory to me. Yeah, I mean, I might want to live with Melina on her pig farm. I might. David Harbour was also another solid casting choice. He's very charismatic. So yeah, just an all-around A+ for the casting. The cinematography and directing is also very solid in this film. I mean, the action is just incredible. As for the storyline, I think if I'd done a little bit of research before watching this film, I would have understood what was going on a lot better. But it's not like things aren't explained in the film. They are. So it's not the fault of the film if I lost track of things at times. It's more I wish that I'd done the research before watching this film so I understood things a little bit better. I really didn't find the film to be a kind of girl boss film at all. I mean, they do touch on things like the joy of pockets on clothing, but it's done in such a humorous way that if they are slipping in little commentaries here and there, it's just so easy to digest. There is an emphasis on choice in this film and women having their choice taken away, which has obvious links to the real world. Black Widow might have straddled the obvious line a little bit in terms of emphasizing this, but is that really any different to any of the other real world issues that the Marvel films tend to deal with? Not really, but when you're dealing with women and any kind of focus and exploration of women's issues, people tend to get extra defensive and critical. Yeah, and I think Black Widow did a good enough job of getting the message about women's choice across without preaching at the expense of the film. Like I say, it did straddle the line a little bit, but I don't feel like it crossed it. And all in all, it's just such a solid piece of work. Now, watching the after scene credits, that's where the link to Hawkeye really comes in, because Yelena currently believes that Clint has killed her sister. Yeah, I guess you could say she wants to do some avenging. The question is, will Yelena take the shot at Clint when she gets the chance? Or will she learn about her sister's sacrifice as a hero and choose to spare Clint's life? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Okay guys, if you've watched Black Widow, let me know what you thought of it down in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe for instant disappointment, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!